If you stick around complaining coworkers for too long on the job, eventually it's going to lead to you getting fired. And the reason why I say that is because when a coworker that comes to you complaining about how they're being treated on the job, complaining about the supervisor, the boss, complaining about the workload that they got to do, understand that they're trying to not only vent, but they're trying to get you to feel the same way that they do. Trying to manipulate your emotions. Whether they know they're doing it or not, you never want to let someone else control how the way you should feel about anybody. Nobody should have control over your emotions, especially not on no damn job. A job in which you need to get by, to pay your bills, to stay afloat, And you got to have like a level-headed mind. Got to have a level head on the job. A job that you don't like, but you know it's a job you need to keep because of your circumstances. It's important to stay grounded and to not come to work with this toxic mindset of how I hate this job so much. I hate this place. I hate the people here. It's like you never want to come to work in that type of mind state, in that state of being, because it's going to reflect how you treat others on the job. It's going to reflect your work ethic, your energy, and all that. And it might bring some trouble your way. You know what I'm saying? So any little minor situation that occurs, that's enough to set you off. That's enough to get you going. Don't let no coworker get you to start talking crazy about the boss, the supervisor, whoever, another coworker, because you never know who could be eavesdropping on the conversation that you and that complaining coworker are having. Because I'll be having a coworker that will complain to me about, the supervisor's making me do this, and, they be treating me a certain way. They be talking to me a certain way. Man, I'm getting tired of this ish, man. I just want to quit. In the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, then quit then. The hell you telling me for? Go ahead and quit. If this is making you miserable and this is stressing you out, then leave. Like, I don't get people sometimes. You signed up for this job. You applied. You signed an application to come to work at this company. It was your decision, your choice to work at this place. I made up in my mind. I chose to work here. So if I'm going to complain, I might as well not even complain, because I chose to work there. I chose to sign up to be at this company. It was my choice. So I just have to accept it, And I've been able to develop a level-headed mind and to remain grounded, during the work hours, because there's going to be some BS. There's going to be some nonsense happening on the job, but it's expected. It's like I expect certain things to happen. I expect certain things to go down. And I don't get surprised. I don't get moved by what happens. It's like I just expect it to happen, for some foolishness to happen. So when you're dealing with a complaining coworker, they're trying to control your emotions, how you should feel about someone else on the job. It's like, just because you feel that way about a supervisor, that don't mean I got to feel the same way, because I don't got them same feelings. I don't fuck with the supervisor. I don't try to get close with the supervisor. Like, I'll take the orders and boom, do what I got to do, clock in, make my money. You know what I'm saying? But there's no argument on my side. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to get fired over some petty stuff. So, anytime you have those coworkers, man, that come and complain to you, they vent to you and all that stuff, it's always to vent. It's always to complain. It's the same ish all the time. And I had the same coworker doing the same thing toward me. And I'm just sitting there like, if it's really that bad, then quit. But then again, you chose to work there. You knew what you were signing up for. But like, I got to catch myself that I don't say nothing slick. I don't say nothing crazy like this person is, because you never know. The supervisor could be eavesdropping. They could come up out of nowhere and hear on our conversation what we're saying, and then that gets both of us in hot water. And then what? Now both of our jobs are in jeopardy, mine included, because I was in on the conversation too, and initially I had nothing to do with it, but I let someone else control how I should feel. And so that got me to talking crazy about a supervisor, about a manager. And the whole time while we're both talking crazy, you got a supervisor that's probably eavesdropping on the conversation, or they just pop up out of nowhere, or maybe a coworker hears and they go back and tell. They go back and just tell the supervisor what was said about them. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff could happen. So you want to be careful of who you talk to on the job. You want to be careful of complaining coworkers, because they will get you to feel a certain way that you're not even feeling anything to begin with. You have no ill will feelings toward the supervisor anyway. You just do your job, mind your business, and go to hell home. That's all you do. That's the attitude. That's the whole mindset. That's the whole rigmarole. But if I'm complaining about my supervisor and I got all this negative stuff to say about him all the time, then maybe I shouldn't be there. Maybe I should quit then. But I don't have the same feelings. So I ain't gonna let no one control how I should feel or control my emotions, because that's stupid. Like, that's you. If you feel a certain way about someone, then that's on you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And so I stay out of that mess. And I try not to get involved in those type of conversations where all the workers are talking ish about the boss, or they're gossiping and talking crazy about another coworker. Stay away from those chatty patties. Stay away from those type of those groups, those cliques on the job, because one day you'll get caught up with them saying some mess about your boss or whoever, and then you'll get caught in the act, and then you might lose your job because you let your other coworkers place a battery in your back to start talking crazy. So that's just a heads up for a lot of y'all that are in these workplaces on these 9-to-5s. Just giving y'all a clear heads up. So that being said, this is Solo Dolo Talks. And make sure you like the video for the algorithm, and more content is to come. And I'm out, and peace.